Alright, sports fans, it has been one day. So let's take off the neck and see how it looks. Lay that down, and from that angle, it looks pretty good. It's definitely very smooth. I can feel it a little bit on the frets. So definitely going to have to sand that down once I'm all done. One thing I noticed is kind of like yesterday, here looks a little orange, definitely here, a little bit there, and I can definitely tell quite a bit of orange right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Quite difficult on camera, but with the natural eye, I can definitely notice it. So, what I need to do is get the instructions. So leave this to dry at least 24 hours, and then give the neck a light rub with fine steel wool to remove any dust or high spots before applying the next coat to build more color depth to your taste. 2 to 3 thin coats will generally produce great results. Leave 2 to 3 days to cure before applying the top coat. So, we did one yesterday. This is going to be the second one. So, I need to put down my sanding blanket. And steel wool I have is a quadruple zero. Super fine. Fine. Yep, super fine grade steel wool. Alright. So start on the back. I mean, it feels pretty smooth as it is. So we're just going to lightly run the steel wool across it. Remember, just like the paper said, we're just trying to knock anything down. We're not trying to sand it. Maybe we can get a little bit darker so it'll match this color. Although I don't want it that orange. Get the front of the head. Maybe I can try to sand that a little bit. Alright. Do the frets and the fretboard. Got a little bump in here, so I'm trying to get up next to the fret on each side, because we don't want any buildup there. But we definitely want it nice and smooth. Not putting a lot of pressure again. Alright. That looks and feels pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, that knocked off the bit, or all of the tackiness off of the frets too. Good. So now I will take this out, dust it all off, clean it, and then we'll get ready for a second coat. Well, that was weird. I was halfway through finishing my neck, and I looked up and the computer ran into a problem. I had to restart. So, Now we're going to start on body. And I think it looks about the same as yesterday, maybe a little bit lighter. It looks like the stain has soaked in quite a bit and it's kind of bringing back some of that grain. Now, we'll get the instructions for it again. And let's see, the deep color, keep going body 2 to 3 times. There we go, leave to dry for 24 hours. After applying the high intensity stain coat, let's see, apply the high intensity stain coat following instructions below for the next base coat. Please note, base coats also include tint and will continue to even and enrich the color with the application. So it says keep going over 2 to 3 times, which is what we did. And it doesn't say that we're doing the deep coat again. But on the cherry it says 1 to 2 coats, and then the second base coat is 2 to 3 coats. And then the third base coat is 2 to 3 more coats. Apply in that order to fix a deep red to start with, which then has a darker shade by the third base coat layered on top. So it sounds like I'm going to be in the second base coat today. I thought I was going to do a whole nother deep first coat. But, I mean, we already went through it. Okay. So we're going to do the second coat. Then rag coat, no, second coat. Let's see. Where are we at? After going around, leave dry for 24 hours. After applying the high intensity stain coat, follow instructions below for the next base coat. It doesn't say to sand in between the third coat and the next base coat. But I'm thinking I want to. Because why would you not sand in between coats? It says sand in between everything else. No sanding, but I'm going to sand. So I'm going to get a whole new steel wool because I don't want to mix what I have on the neck with this. Then we're just going to go over nice light. Just knock everything down because we don't want to sand it per se because then maybe it won't accept it. But I can definitely feel this steel wool knocking away all of the little bumps and anything that has risen. Yeah, there's quite a roughness in there as well. So on the front, not too bad on the front. roughness there. Okay. I like that. Now, let me go dust this off and come back. Blew all of the other things off. Got a lint-free rag. Cleaned it off. Now we are ready for the second base coat. So we'll give that a little shake. Reread the directions. See if it tells us how much we need to put in. So 1/8 of the bottle. Okay. Thin coating on the surface, a little goes a long ways. During the first couple of base coats, the natural oils in the finish will soak in a little, so more finish will be required. Let the wood decide how much it wants to absorb. This will reduce with each coat. Do not attempt to save time by applying extra depth or color thickness in less coats. Make sure the base coat is completely wiped in the grain. Use a swirling motion, then finish wiping along the grain, with no excess on any surface or runs. Also, don't waste finish by soaking the rag with any more than you absolutely need to. Okay. So we'll get a nice new glove. Here's my cloth. We're going to do that whole 2 fingers wrapped around again. I've really been enjoying that. That seems to make it a little easier. Okay. Still quite dark like yesterday's. Okay, second base coat. Just making sure. Alright, then we'll start with the circles. Okay, and I'm only going to be doing 1 coat of this. Trying to let the wood decide how much it wants to take in. I can see, because when I put it on here, it's all liquid. Then as I rub it in, it gets a nice little sheen on it. Then I move away from it a little bit and come back and just wipe off the extra. So in doing that, I think I can see how much is going in. Try to do everything on the top. Make sure that's all good. Then I'll go around the corners and make sure I don't have any runs. So I think I'm done with today. Just kind of looking it over, making sure I don't have any runs, no wet spots, nothing shiny. Making sure I got everything. I can definitely tell the places I did and didn't get. Okay. A little bit inside there. Alright. So, finishes up day 2. Okay, so this is the second coat that's on here. Let it dry for a night. Let it dry for a night. And still, my concerns of yesterday still has a bit of orange here, right here, around the headstock. See if we can get that orange to show up on the camera at all. There you go. You can see that little bit of coloration right there. That's definitely that orange showing up. Yeah, you can definitely see it right in that area. So we'll try to sand it out a little bit. We'll still have the same steel wool from yesterday, not the one I did with the body. And then we're just knocking down everything mostly as the instructions say. Then we'll try to focus on those weird color areas. Now let's see, I felt some high spots right there. That feels a lot better. Try to get the fretboard. Okay, now we will go blow everything off. Alright, just like yesterday, we'll get the 3/4 inch, make sure that nothing is stuck underneath the frets. Now I've decided to go with 3 layers of the neck tint. Why? I don't know. It says 2 to 3. Let's do 2. So we're still going in the nice light circles. I'm going to try to push it in a little bit more this time than I have. See if we can get that color a little more even throughout everything. Now it doesn't look like this neck is accepting any more stains, so definitely think that 3 was a good number. ask you how much we still have putting on the headstock from that. Alright, now let's get the front. And just like before, or just like yesterday, try to get inside there. Now we can wipe all that away, smooth it out. Make sure we don't have any runs anywhere. Nobody likes the runs. Alright, oh, look at that nice big drip right there. Right there. Got a little bit right in there as well. Alright. That's the last tint that goes on there. Next, let's see, we'll let this sit for 2 to 3 days and then we'll put the top coat on.